All right, let's dive right in. Ever wonder what the absolute endgame of computers looks like? Well, today we're tackling a concept that's, well, it's pretty mind-bending. It pushes the limits of everything we think we know about tech, about physics, even about imagination itself. We're talking about something called Computronium, the theoretical ultimate computer.
So to really wrap your head around just how wild this is, just look at the device you're on right now, your laptop, your phone. It's mostly wasted space, right? You've got plastic, metal, a whole lot of empty air. Only a teeny tiny fraction of the atoms in there are actually, computing. Now, what if you had a substance with zero waste, where every single bit of it, 100% is pure thinking matter, where every single atom is part of the calculation? That's the jump we're about to make.
So the big question is, how do you go from, a chunk of plastic and metal to a solid block of pure thought? Well, that's what we're digging into first. We're going to define this computational diamond.
Okay, so what is it exactly? At its heart, Computronium is this hypothetical, programmable matter. But the two words you really got to focus on here are absolute upper limit. We're not just talking about a better computer chip. No, this is the most perfect, the most efficient computing material that the laws of physics themselves say is even possible.
And I think this quote from the guy who came up with the idea, Robert J. Bradbury, just nails it. He called it matter that has been completely optimized to do nothing except computation and data storage. Think about that. It has one job, and one job only, to think, and to do it as fast and efficiently as the universe will let it.
This is probably the best way to think about it. It's like a computational Lego. See, we build computers out of stuff, right? Silicon, plastic, whatever. But this is about turning the stuff itself into the computer. It's like every single atom is a tiny Lego brick, and you're arranging those bricks in the absolute most perfect, most efficient pattern possible for pure thought.
So you've got this whole substance made of atomic Legos, all humming along, all thinking together. I mean, it sounds like something straight out of sci-fi for sure. But how would you even begin to build it, even in theory? Well, that's what we're looking at next, the blueprint for making a thinking planet.
Okay, so the plan, and yeah, it's ridiculously ambitious, is actually kind of straightforward in theory. First up, disassembly. You'd basically need swarms of nanobots to just take apart a planet, or even a whole star, break it down into a cloud of individual atoms. Then, step 2, reconfiguration. This is where the magic happens. You take that giant cloud of atoms and you precisely place every single particle into a perfect, crystalline structure designed for nothing but computation. And finally, step 3, and this is super important, you need a cooling hierarchy. You'd have these incredibly hot, super fast layers at the very center, and then cooler, more efficient layers on the outside that actually run on all that waste heat.
And get this. If you take that layered structure, that cooling hierarchy, and you build it in massive shells around a star to soak up every last drop of its energy, well, congratulations, you've just built what's known as a matryoshka brain. So Computronium isn't just some fancy material. It's the literal fabric you'd use to weave a godlike, star-sized intelligence.
All right, so we've got a plan for building a thinking star, but just how powerful are we talking? What can this thing do? Well, this is where the numbers start to get, honestly, kind of insane. They're almost impossible to even imagine. Let's dive into its, well, god-tier performance. So first up, let's just talk about how much data you can pack in. Your typical high-end SSD today, it can hold about 1 trillion bits of data in a little cubic centimeter. And that's pretty good, right? But now look at the bar for Computronium. We're talking 10 to the power of 20 bits. That's not just a little better, it's 100 million times more dense. It's just a completely different league.
And speed? What about pure, raw processing speed? Well, it turns out physics actually has a hard speed limit for this. It's called the Bremerman limit. It's the absolute, theoretical maximum number of calculations a kilogram of anything can perform in 1 second. And that number is 10 to the power of 5e1. That's not a target we're trying to hit, that's the finish line. That's the speed of thought for matter itself.
So, to put that number into perspective, because it's just so huge, listen to this. A single kilogram of Computronium, that's something you could literally hold in your hand, could, in theory, outperform every computer that has ever existed on Earth, combined. Think about that. Every supercomputer, every laptop, every smartphone, everything. 1 kilogram would be more powerful than all of them by an almost unimaginable amount.
Okay, let's just pause for a second. A thinking star, more powerful than every computer we've ever made. I mean, is this a real future we're heading towards, or is it just a cool fantasy? Well, that brings us to our last section, where we have to talk about the very real, very hard physical limits. Because look, as amazing as this all sounds, physics is a harsh critic. It lays down some really strict rules. For one, you can't beat the speed of light. So getting a signal across a planet-sized computer is going to take time. Down at the quantum level, things get fuzzy and unstable. Oh, and if you pack the atoms too densely, whoops, you just made a black hole. Not ideal. And trying to correct for errors on that scale, it's just beyond anything we can even imagine right now. So really, the way to think about Computronium isn't as some product we're going to see on shelves next year. It's a thought experiment. It's the theoretical endgame for computation. It's the absolute final stop on the line, kind of like how a black hole is the endgame for gravity. It's not something you build, it's just where it all ultimately leads.
So if you forget everything else, just remember this one simple idea. Computronium is just normal stuff, ordinary matter, but it's been taken apart and reassembled into the most powerful thinking machine that the laws of physics will even allow. That's it. It's matter, upgraded.
And that idea, it really leaves us with a huge, kind of profound question to chew on, right? When you realize that the very atoms that make up you, me, and everything around us could, in theory, be rearranged to create an almost godlike intelligence, it kind of makes you wonder, is that the ultimate purpose of matter? Is the universe just waiting to wake up and think?